Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy and today we're going to talk about an emergency on a cruise ship and what the different stages of an emergency are. A lot of you had questions about it. You know, some of you were like, well, you know, does the fire have to be a raging fire before the passengers are told to go to the lifeboats? Like, at what point does everybody find out about the emergency? So that is what we're going to go through today. But before we get started, I just wanted to give you a little reminder to go to my website and check out my career guides. If you are an aspiring crew member, you have all the information that you could ever need there about what it means to be a crew member and everything, you know, you need to know to be able to be a successful crew member no matter what cruise line you are going to work on. You can also get in contact with me on my website, and if you do have any questions you can leave them in the comments and I will get back to you, or someone in our wonderful community will get back to you. But yeah, let's get into the video. The steps I'm going to go through in this video do vary cruise line to cruise line in terms of like what they're called, and maybe the order will be a little bit varied, but like generally it's tomato tomato. Like, so the first thing you will hear if there is a suspected emergency is initial response. So what this means is someone, whether it's a crew member or a passenger, has found something wrong. Maybe they have found a suspicious package that they're like, is this a bomb? Is this, like, don't know what it is. Maybe they found a small fire. Maybe they have found a pirate. Maybe the ship has bumped into something. Maybe there's a hole in the side of the ship and they have called the bridge and said, hey, I'm in this part of the ship and this is what I have found, you need to come and investigate. So the bridge will then send the initial response team to basically go and suss out what's wrong. So then you will hear an announcement saying something like, assessment team, proceed to deck 4, fire zone 2, laundry room. So it doesn't actually state what the emergency is in this announcement, but basically, I mean, you can, if it's in the laundry room, it's probably a fire. But basically the assessment team has been sent to this area to check out what is going on. Now, let's say they have found a fire. Ideally, the assessment team will get there and put the fire out. And that'll be the end of the emergency. Like, no one else will hear anything. Obviously, in a crew drill, you go through all of the stages, but in an actual emergency, you don't want to hear anything after assessment team proceed to wherever the emergency or the fire is. However, if the initial response team are unable to extinguish the fire, maybe by the time they've got there it is already a huge fire, the next thing you'll hear is the crew muster alarm, which is usually 10 seconds on the ship's whistle. So it's just a followed by crew muster, crew muster, crew muster. So as a crew member, if you heard this and it was not a drill, you would stop what you were doing. So for example, if I was at work in the shop, I would kindly ask all of the passengers to leave who were in the shop. I would close the door, lock the shop, and I would proceed to my muster station. And every crew member would do that. If you're a waiter, if you're a bar, you would close the bar, you would stop pouring the drink, and you would make your way to your assembly station, your muster station, where you go in an emergency. Because what this is preparing for is for the passengers to also go to their muster station. So while this is going on, the assessment team and the fire team will be fighting the fire or sorting out whatever the emergency is, but if the crew are called to their emergency station, then it's not going well. Once the crew are in their positions, and if the fire still has not been extinguished, the next thing is the passengers will be asked to go to their cabins and wait there. Again, they will wait in their cabins until the emergency is solved, until the fire is extinguished. But again, if the fire cannot be put out or the emergency cannot be solved, you will then hear 7 short, 1 long, which is the signal for the passengers to get the life jackets out the top of their wardrobes, get any medication, get some lip balm, get your water and make your way down to your assembly station. Now obviously the crew members will already be in position, and that's why, you know, it would be absolute chaos if there was no crew members to tell passengers where they need to go. So this is why it's really important that the crew members are already in position. If you hear 7 short 1 long, shit's not great. Like, things aren't great. It's not the be all and end all, because, you know, the fire can still be extinguished while everyone is in their muster station, but you know, it's not ideal. Like, ideally you want the emergency to have been found and resolved before, well, you don't want sailors to know anything about it in an ideal world. You don't even want the crew members to know anything about it. So, but definitely not the passengers. So when everyone is in their emergency station and properly scanned in, you will wait there until the emergency is either resolved or until the captain is like, this is a lost cause, this fire is too big, we need to leave. Now, getting everyone into the lifeboats is absolutely the last straw. Like, we will stay on the cruise ship for as long as possible because that is the safest place for us. But from there, the crew members will direct you to the lifeboats, and then we will be lowered into the sea. But yeah, so those are the like general stages of the emergency. So as a passenger, like, you will already know something's going on before you hear 7 short 1 long, because you will see like all of the crew members getting into position. But yeah, you really don't want to hear 7 short 1 long. But I did say, when you hear 7 short 1 long as a passenger, you need to grab your life jacket, you need to grab any medication. Now this goes without saying, but then I mentioned lip balm and water. So the reason you want to grab water is obviously there's only a certain amount of water in the lifeboat, and it is going to be rationed out by the crew members. So any extra water that you can take into the muster station or on the lifeboat with you, the better. And also, once you are in that muster station, you're not going to be able to leave. So you kind of want to get water, maybe a snack, because you don't know how long you're going to be waiting in that muster station for, before you're either released or before you're taken to the lifeboats. So any like water, any food, anything you have in your cabin that will keep you occupied, fed, watered for the next, I don't know how long, is worth taking. Obviously you need, if you have medication that you need to take, then take that medication down with you. And then I also mentioned lip balm. So if you do get into a lifeboat, now best case scenario, you are rescued straight away. I mean, I can't really say best case scenario after you've got into a lifeboat, but you know what I mean. Now worst case scenario, you might be at sea for like a while before you're rescued. It's going to be very uncomfortable being sat in a lifeboat with hundreds of other people. You're going to be dehydrated because no water is given to anyone in the lifeboat for the first 24 hours. However, it's probably going to be hot at first, at least, because there's going to be so many of you crammed into this lifeboat. There's going to be a lot of adrenaline pumping, so you're going to be sweating. So the reason I mentioned lip balm is, if the worst happens and you are at sea for a while, your lips are going to start to become dry and they're going to start to crack. You're going to be dehydrated, you're going to be thirsty, and what is the first thing to go when you are thirsty? It's your lips. So Vaseline, lip balm, anything like that. My lips are getting dry now just talking about this. But yeah, you want to take it with you. Same if you have like dry eyes and eye drops, take eye drops with you. Because obviously these aren't things that you would think about, but if you're stuck in a lifeboat, trust me, you're going to be thinking, wish I'd have put my lip balm in my pocket, wish I'd have put my eye drops in my pocket, or some Vaseline. But those are like just the general steps of an emergency. For those who wanted to know, I'm sure you will still have more questions on that though, so leave them in the comments and I'll answer them down below. Or if you want me to make a more detailed video over this, I know I've kind of like skimmed over every point, but I feel like I've answered the questions that were asked. yeah, but if you do have more questions and you want another video on this in more detail, then let me know, and I'm happy to do one, because I know it all seems a bit alien if you haven't been on a ship before. But yeah, leave your questions in the comments down below. You can also follow me on Instagram and keep in touch with me that way. But yeah, have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.